Test, 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 and we are good to go. Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well. I originally wanted to start streaming a couple hours or a few hours from now, but while I was doing some research, boom, we started to have a little bit of a fall down, excuse me guys. And so I thought I'd hop on the stream here a little bit. Sorry I still haven't been on as much as I wanted to. It turns out I went to my doctor and my ADHD medication with some of my antibiotic stuff was not doing good stuff for me, I guess you could say. Turns out it was just kind of making me more droopy than normal, so I really didn't want to do anything in life, so it's like, bleh. But hope you guys are all doing good. I know people will trickle in here over time, and if you guys are watching this later on, I'll be putting some stuff in this stream as well to kind of help you guys understand exactly what's happening, because as we all know, it's definitely not going too well at this point in time. Let me go over here very fast. There we go. Okay, it looks like YouTube is actually notifying people finally. But yeah, so a few things to talk about here right now. I know more people will come inside, and I'll kind of say this over and over again for the next few hours here. But over the last few days, we already talked about Bitcoin coming back down a little bit more. We were hoping that we can find a little bit of support. I know I put up that 24-hour stream for you guys specifically so you guys could see what I'm talking about when I do this, like the super trend plus the smart money concepts thing, and kind of see what's going on here. If I go over here very fast, let me get that music off. You guys would remember that we never actually had that buy signal here, and this is the 4-hour chart. No, this is the hour chart, excuse me. We never actually got that full buy signal here, and because it was still coming down because of that, or in part because of that, right? So keep looking at that one. I notice a lot of you guys are using it for short-term things, which I really do appreciate, so thank you guys very much for watching that. And hey D's, hey Round Earth, hope you guys all doing good, and Lower the Scratcher. We'll go over a lot of stuff here today, but right now we haven't completely broken down just yet. We still would have to break down below the support level right here. And let me just put this right here for us. Right around $25,166. We came close just a few minutes ago, but you guys can see we took a little bit of a dip. It did get bought back up quite rapidly, actually. Maybe I should go over here to the 1-minute chart. I took a little bit of a scalp on this play, but we're still kind of in this pickle right now. We've been seeing how the momentum has been slowing down. Not the momentum overall for the market slowing down from us going up, but the momentum of us, excuse me guys. The momentum of this big move right here slowing down, but we still haven't had those big signals there. I was doing a video for you guys, well, I guess all the footage is sent off to the editor now. I'm waiting for him to do his thing. But one of the things I was looking at over the past few days was, this is a lot of stuff on a cluttered screen. Let me zoom out a little bit just so you guys can see all the numbers and stuff on the right hand side of the screen. I have it like in for 200%. I'm going to go to 100% very fast. Bear with me here, okay? What you guys are looking at on this particular chart is a little bit of a strategy I've been trying to come up with for new investors, just kind of make things a little bit easier, like a little bit of a checklist, if you will. But some of the things on here that you guys are familiar with, if you guys have been watching me for a while, has been smart money concepts, super trend, MACD, stochastic oscillator, and the squeeze indicator from Lazy Bear. They all have their own little tweaks to them, so these aren't your standard numbers. This is a little bit more of giving you less signals. Everything's kind of more smoothed out, so you don't have as many buy and sell signals, because normally we want to catch some of these larger moves. But you guys remember over the past few days we've talked about this, and I won't go too deep into it. Everything had kind of been pointing towards sell. Now, is it the end of the world? No. But what did we talk about last week? Actually, we can just go back over here very fast. The big thing that happened last week was we broke down. And usually after we break down, we start to continue the move unless, for whatever reason, Bitcoin were to get some good news. And Bitcoin hasn't been getting the best news over the past few days, as I think you guys could rightfully understand. But the breakdown has just started. We're about to, over the next few days, have another death cross, or excuse me, next few weeks, have another death cross between the 20 and the 200. You know, I'm not saying this whole rally that we've just seen over the past few days is dead or anything like that, or past few months is dead. I'm not going to say that at all. I think we're just coming back down to retest. If we start breaking back down, I would say be below the 50-week moving average, not even just the support right up here around $25,000. Let me zoom back in here for you guys a little bit more. There we go. If we start breaking down below this, then I start to get much more concerned. But for now, all we've really done, and I know this is kind of it happened very fast and rapidly, unlike what happened over here, we've kind of just entered back into another trend here, right? So we're going to see if we start breaking down below this. If that occurs, this is where things are a little bit more iffy, because it means probably that we're not going to break down below the 50 maybe right away, but over the next few, let's say September or October, we might actually have a rough time of it, and we might actually break back down and start coming back down here to the low 20s. That means around 20,000, 21,000, 22,000. The economy is still chugging along. There's some more warning signs out there, but we've been having some warning signs for a while, so I'm not going to say that's the thing that's tipping us over the edge right here. But you guys can see there's obviously some worry going around as far as the market's concerned at this point in time. But again, if you're day trading, this is still a good market. If you guys are trying to buy and go long and hold for a few weeks and hope for a few bucks, again, none of the oscillators, none of the moving averages, nothing is pointing to that at this point in time. What you guys are looking for are some of these larger levels of support to kind of hold on. For example, if we kind of zoomed in here on the weekly chart and we're talking about a few weeks from now, you guys could buy around here, you know, let's just say below 25,600 and above 25,100. Let's just kind of see something there. You would be happy to buy around there, hoping that we could hold support, and then from there, you would hope to see us have a rebound month and maybe get back up here to the halfway point, almost thinking of something of a fair value gap that kind of might make us come back up here to maybe the 200 weekly moving average, I could say, but really just around here around 27,000, 27,500. That's the play you would be looking for, because we are at a large level of support. One of the things I've been showing you guys over the past few days here, and I'm actually about to put a video out to this for members here, is if we go to one of the larger Bitcoin charts, the one that kind of goes back in time a little bit further. Remember, we used to talk a lot about GAN fans and stuff like that, but we stopped talking about it because we never really were hitting them for a while. Well, now we started to hit some of those GAN fans, and you can just think of them as levels of resistance and support, using some fancy math equations. Let's go back up here to 45. There we go. And sorry guys, like I said at the beginning of the video, I haven't been streaming as much because it turns out all the pills I had been taking for my my oral surgery for my wisdom tooth, and then the fixing of the oral tooth mess that they made, I guess when my dentist asked me if I was taking any medications, I pretty much just said no, but I am taking medications. So that combo really just like took me out of it for a while. Not like pain or anything, but just imagine kind of just being dumbed down for a little bit and just, that's pretty much what's going on. So now I'm back to normal after a couple days of not taking any medication. So hopefully that works out. But next time your doctor says, or your dentist says, hey, are you taking any medication? Probably should just like think about it for a second and answer it, because I did not. Oh, there we go, got Ken Fan. Actually, let me do this for a second. I'm going to lock the ratio here. Okay, that's fine. We can do this with a log off. All right, let's bring this back up here a little bit. It's close enough. Everything's highlighted. That's good. And we just want to lock this so when we do back out, you guys can see what's going on here. All right. So we've been talking about this a little bit. You can notice that we actually kind of broke above it, which was kind of nice, but it was still that kind of that level of resistance that we still weren't able to really power above. Now, if I were to zoom back out a little bit here, we're going to turn log back on. Well, let me get rid of the lock to bar ratio. Log back on. How do I want to do this with you guys? Now there's one of them's missing right here that goes right through the middle. That's fine. Or maybe it's from the COVID lows. Never mind. Forget what I just said. I've been doing too many tests over the past few days. There we go. This is the dumb one I was thinking of right here. There we go. And lockaroo. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So you guys can see right now there was a few GAN fans and stuff like that. We didn't really talk about this too much because we already had that hard level of resistance that we've been talking about for a while here, that big old order block that was up there. But right now, this is one of those other levels of support I'm looking at. Normally when we are using GAN fans, I've talked to you guys about before, but not for a few months. Usually this 2-to-1 is really the strong level that we're really hoping we don't break down below. At this point in time, it looks like we may break down below, but if you guys are kind of those people who really like to look at GAN fans and Fibonacci levels and stuff of that nature, That next stop where we're going to have a lot of resistance according to some of the most recent Gann fans, the one we just put up right there and the one all the way back from 2018, is going to be around $23,000 or so. Now, we could always, start breaking down to like 20,000 and go to that low support level over here, but I think it'd be reasonable to try to do your next big, large buying opportunity around there if you're not going to take one at this point in time. Mostly because of all the oscillators that we've been talking about. If I kind of go back over here very fast, I know I've talked a lot about oscillators, but maybe I should actually open this up on a non-skewed one, because you guys know the standard MACDs and stuff like that. They're different numbers than this right here with the 20, 40, and 14. What I might actually do very fast is go over here, reset all of this stuff, and I'm actually just going to get rid of all these drawings and show you two different things here. Change of character and super trend. Let's hide these for now because I'm thinking more of the overall momentum shifts here. So we got the MACD, stochastic, not the stochastic RSI, just the stochastic. And then we're looking for the squeeze. And I can't spell squeeze. There we go. Okay, a few things going on right here. And this is why I hate doing fresh things, because everything has to be made a little bit thicker so everybody can see it, including myself. There we go. As far as Bitcoin's weekly charts are concerned, you can see those stochastic crossovers that happened a few weeks ago. This is not how I like to use the stochastic. I need it to be more flushed out, which is why I have the other one there. But you guys can also see the MACD here. This is on a very basic level, guys. Don't have to pay too much attention to this, but you can see that MACD crossover that's been happening for a while, and more importantly than the crossover, let's see how large I can make this. Higher high, lower high. That divergence is what's really kicking in now. It's not just a divergence on this. I've been talking about this for a while, just because that you guys know for a while the market's been kind of boring. When the market's kind of boring, you definitely see momentum slow. It's kind of like you already know what's happening in your mind, but sometimes we just don't click two things together. Like, oh, something bad could be happening here. But let me go back over here very fast. Okay, so this is my personal MACD, the ones that I use where I like to smooth everything out a little bit. So instead of your normal 12, 24 type stuff, this is a 20, 40, 14. Stochastic, it's much more smoothed out. So you can see that it wasn't all the way up here like the other stochastic. And this squeeze indicator over here, it's a squeeze momentum indicator. There's not really much change besides the colors here. I just don't change what Lazy Bear does all too often. But let's go over here very fast. You can see that MACD crossing over right now. That's not good. We haven't actually squeezed yet. My concern is that over the next 2 weeks or so is when we start to see a little bit more volatility kicking in here, and then we make this really big push down to 20,000, 21,000. That's my fear. I'm not saying it's going to happen yet, but that's my fear. So if we start breaking down over the next 2-3 days, I might be trying to put some shorts on for until 25,000 to maybe 23,000 first scale up opportunity, then really going down to 21,500, 21,000, then maybe 20,500 really if we get lucky to go down that far, which probably not going to happen. But we could possibly be having a squeeze here pretty soon. If we kind of skip this over here to the day chart, we're already having a squeeze on the squeeze. The Lazy Bear indicator, we're already having that MACD crossover, stochastic breakdown over here, and then MACD is going to look a little bit different than what you guys are used to. But you guys can also see here that same divergence that we talked about on the weekly chart. We're still seeing that same divergence here, and it's not, well, it's not good, right? But again, we've talked about this for a while. I was kind of hoping we might have some good news to really bolster us up, and we really haven't had that. And on top of that, when you look at the weekly charts or the daily charts, we're nowhere close to seeing that momentum slow down enough for us to have one of those more bullish crossovers or divergences, whether you guys are talking about Bitcoin, the MACD, the stochastic, or squeeze indicator, or even the RSI and things of that nature. Because at this point we're making lower lows, and at the same time the oscillators are all making lower lows, so nothing really good is happening there. But let's hop on over here again. Let's get out the Gann fans again. I like the Gann fans, but man, they are a little bit too colorful. There we go. And let's actually go back over here to this basic Bitcoin chart. The basic one doesn't go back as far in time, but it gives us a nice clean little slate to work with. Going back over here to the 15-minute chart, we're still doing okay, guys. I know it seems kind of bad, but we're still holding on barely there. I think the big concern really is we're not heading in the right direction, and every time we take a little bit of a mini dump like this, we're getting closer and closer and closer to actually having this big breakdown. And when we start to break down below the support level, which on this particular chart is 25,166, if you guys are using a Bitcoin to USD chart, maybe a little bit different. But as soon as we get down to that level and we break down below it, you know, that's where people get into that another panic mode here, because Bitcoin today is only down about what, 1.66%. Ethereum is down about 3.5%. You got ADA down 3. You got stuff like AVAX down 4, and actually breaking down below the lows we saw a few days ago. Now this is a 4-hour chart. Let me just go to the daily chart, flow through some stuff. AVAX still okay. Bitcoin Cash still okay. Matic coming back down a little bit more. BNB. So you are still seeing some of these things come down quite a bit. Just be prepared for altcoins to take another big dip down here. Is there anything that's actually doing okay today? No. How's XRP doing after it had that big move a few weeks ago too? Yeah, XRP, it's given up all the gains for the most part since that large event, and we've already seen the death cross and stuff like that come down. You know, as soon as we broke down below the 20-day moving average, that usually happens on the 50-day. Then we found support at 200. Let's hope we don't break down below that, but there's a bunch of death crosses heading this way for a lot of different altcoins. So we might be entering another bad 2 to 3 months. Let's hope that doesn't occur, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. It's definitely going to be a wild roller coaster here. And hey, Jonathan, you think we're in a recession? I think we're close. It's just so, again, I'm a little bit paranoid about the recession and how the recession's kind of been talked about, because you guys know I've been really pessimistic about the entire economy, not necessarily the stock market or the crypto markets. I'm just pessimistic about the economy for a long time now. But you know, I've been watching the stock market go up despite all these kind of flashing signals that we have. And hey, everybody, Loki wants to say hi. I don't know what just happened, but he ran over here. Come here. You want to say hi to people? There's no treat up here for him. He just wanted to say hi. Or maybe he was thinking there was a treat. But he ate the last of his treats down here, I think. Yesterday, he has a bag upstairs, but I'm not going to go get it. He tried to tear into it last night. But yeah, I'm still thinking there's a recession incoming. But I think Larry just said it right here. All eyes are on Nvidia, and I do think that's a huge thing right now, because we're gonna find out if this was all a big bubble or if there really is some meat on the bones, because they've been going around, and I think this has been reported on both Fox Business, Bloomberg, and CNBC, if you guys ever want to read a boring article about NVIDIA, as they've been actually going to their customers, you know, and they've been asking them, hey, are you really going to need a large amount of chips and processors from us in the future, or are you just thinking you might, but you're not so sure? Because they want to be able to give proper earnings guidance, because if they're wrong later on, they're going to get destroyed for it. But Nvidia's earnings, like here, let's go over here very fast. One of the things I've been looking at, just making my life a little bit easier, is let's get rid of all these drawings here. I'm gonna make some of this stuff a little bit larger here. And the squeeze indicator, it's not the end of that one. Let's just go, yeah, there we go. A little bit more room for us to work. Auto. There we go. Alright, we're just gonna go over here to a few different things here. I almost did the tutorial video that's gonna come out in a few days. I almost did it on NVIDIA, but I decided to do it on Tesla. NVIDIA has been very choppy the last few days. I think all of you guys have realized this. It's been going crazy. Everybody's anticipating these earnings that are going to be coming out pretty soon. There are some bearish signs from a technical standpoint on this. Usually, if there wasn't earnings, I would actually start to open up some puts here. But we'll have to wait and see how this works out, because you guys can already see that divergence appearing. You guys can already see the crossover that happened over here, and the fact that the stochastic's coming back down into neutral territories. I'd want to be opening up some puts here. But we got earnings, and if earnings are very good for this could pop up above 500 bucks just like that. Unlikely, yes, but I mean, it's happened before with how volatile NVIDIA can be, because everybody is going to be watching this. Larry makes a good point there. Now, When we talk about a whole bunch of other different stocks, though, you guys can see how wild this whole thing is, because we got Apple. Apple's in a totally like, hey, this big move is kind of over. We might have a little bit of a bounce for the next couple of days, but then this trend that we've started is going to be coming back down for a while. You got Amazon over here still looking okay. Trend is slowing down. We are seeing some bearish signals across the way here, but we actually haven't had that major breakdown yet. So as long as we haven't had that breakdown and you can see the overall trend is still a buy, we're still looking okay. We haven't even had that change of character to make things bearish. When I see that, then I'm much more inclined to actually start opening up some of those puts. AMD, just starting to get those sales, already had that crossover way back over here, already had the stochastic come over here down, excuse me, but we haven't had that big squeeze release. If you guys were looking at AMD puts, I'd really be holding them for maybe 3 weeks at this point and hoping they can get back down to like $85 or so, but that's a pretty big move. Tesla, having that bounce off of that order block, that should be right here, but forget about that for now. But again, you've started to see a lot of the trends come back down. That's the big thing. The trends have been coming back down, and that's really been in tech, because if you guys go to anything else, I mean, for heaven's sakes, let me just put up this flat chart here. Okay, regular daily chart. We know that tech has been doing just fine. But if you open up something like Macy's, I mean, does Macy's look healthy to you? Let me even go to the monthly chart so you guys can see what's going on here. COVID, Macy's is about to break down below a massive support level and start going back down to the COVID levels. That's not good. You have JP Morgan coming back down a little bit, but still doing okay. You got, I guess this is a little bit different than retail to bank, but you're starting to see a little bit of weakness here, and maybe I should show it to you a little bit different like this. What are you doing over there? Loki keeps on running around back and forth like he can't find his tour or something. As long as we see enough things hold these basic trends, we're fine, but we're already seeing a large, I would say retail. It's really retail that's kind of showing up some weakness here. That's what's concerning me personally, because if people can't afford, sorry guys, I'm still kind of out of it. We all know that debt's been going up, delinquencies have been going up. The fear here, the big fear from an economic standpoint, is all of a sudden people are not able to pay for the stuff they want. And if people aren't buying stuff, then somebody's wages isn't getting paid out, basically, right? But we can go over to stuff like CVS, right? That broke that trend a long time ago. This is about to have a really nasty move here. But again, this is back to 2020, at the big boom from COVID and stuff. We're coming all the way back now. So there is some nice stuff like here. Oil has been kind of a nice turnaround. I told you guys it was kind of risky to hold oil, even though I was, I guess, doing it because of the lovely dividends. And the risk paid off. But, you know, I think we talked about, not Devon Energy. What's my pride? PXD. Yeah, stuff like this. It has like an 11% dividend, which is why I love it. But you're starting to see a lot of things give way here, which is the end of the world? No. And this is a monthly chart, so you guys can see, you know, from years and years and years what this looks like. 2008, pretty big dip, but we're nowhere near there. If we're going to have a 2008 type dip, oh boy, that might bring us back down to $126 for L3 Harris. But MU, we're seeing some some weakness right now. Let's hope things find a way to not collapse. A nice relaxing pullback for an opportunity to buy. That's where the market thinks we're going right now. A relaxing pullback. Buy some up as it pulls back. And then we're going to continue going on higher and higher and higher. I think that's where the majority of the market is, but you're really looking for tech-like plays. So streaming plays, tech, processors, cloud, cybersecurity. You're really looking for that type of stuff at this point in time. And Bitcoin's not really having any of that stuff at this point. Bitcoin's still been going up, as you guys know, but, you know, if I go back over here to this one. There we go. You know, we've definitely given up some of the momentum this month that we've been gaining for a while, especially over here for the past, well, since this year really started back in January, right? We're giving up some of that support. And again, we're going back to that that monthly death cross. It's never happened before. I don't know what it's going to do when it does happen. It may do nothing for all I know, right? Because we don't have any historical context to say, hey, this is a really bad thing, like the weekly death crosses that we talked about last year and the year before. But it's something there. Weekly death crosses, I was kind of optimistic because Who's the guy? There's a guy on YouTube. I always forget his name, but he's a really smart individual. He does a lot of technical analysis. He has a pretty cool website. I follow him. I haven't watched him in a minute, so I know he's somewhere in here, though. Benjamin Cohen, this guy right here. He has a thing where he talks about the bull market support band. I'm not going to watch this video because I don't want to get in trouble. But for him, it's really important that the 20-week moving average is kind of over the 200-weekly moving average. To him, that kind of signifies a bull market or something really strong happening. No, maybe it's the 50. I think it's 20 above the 50. I'll have to remember that. But basically, even though that has happened, we've seen some okay moves. But really, since the crossover itself, nothing really crazy has happened. That which we saw, that was a news event right there. You remember all the ETFs that were announced or trying to be announced, and you guys remember the news about XRP. You know, a lot of that momentum has all been given up in a heartbeat here. One of the things I wanted to show you guys before I start answering some of your questions is, first I want to take a big sip of coffee. I've been having to drink coffee to get my energy levels back up. And I've also been working out on my stationary bike, which has been awesome, but freaking tiring. I'm thinking of getting smelling salts to get me like back into it. But this is going to probably shock you guys just a little bit, in case some of you guys don't actually look at this stuff. So I think you guys can see this a little bit here. Year to date, you guys can see. Okay, on the very right hand side you have year to date. On the very left hand side you got the name of the cryptocurrency. Okay, Bitcoin year to date is 54%. Ethereum is 34% year to date. I have told you guys a lot. My personal opinion when it comes to cryptocurrencies, if you guys want to play it safe, is to primarily own these two things and then have maybe 20 or 30 or however much more of your portfolio to be altcoins, because the altcoins, besides those two, can be a little bit more risky, okay? Now, BNB is down 15%. We know Binance is under siege with a whole bunch of court battles coming up pretty soon. We'll see if there's any big news, because if the court system, if the SEC announces something that, hey, they did something very illegal, there could legitimately be a run on the bank. That's the fear with Binance. I'm not saying that there's some evidence out there. I'm just saying that's the fear. XRP at 50%. We all know why that is. It had a great news event when it came to the trial. ADA up 1, Dogecoin down 13, Solana up 98. This is a little bit This is a little bit weird, as you guys know, because it fell down so much at the end of last year that it's kind of making up for it now, so that's why it looks so high. But you got Tron up 35, Polkadot down at 1, Polygon down 30, Litecoin is down 10, Toncoin down 40% year to date. So you guys can see, I'm not going to explain every single one of them. Some of them have had big moves after having big crashes, like Bitcoin Cash. But we really see a lot of tokens right now taking a big dip right here, with a few of them trying to make larger moves here, as they've kind of done a good job managing their projects. Really, I think what's given some of these guys such a big boost here is because they've actually been making ground on their actual work. Some tokens, they don't really do much work in the background. It's all about hyping on social media. Some tokens that have been doing well legitimately have been doing good business. They're partnering with companies, and they have an actual business side of everything, which has been very good. Quant is down a little bit here. Oh, maybe that looks so much better, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. Optimism up a little bit. Near Protocol, Maker, GRT. You got some that are up quite a bit. Right, then you also got some that are down, like Algorand is down 47%, holy moly. So just keep an eye on your overall portfolio. I'm not saying you need to sell stuff or buy more stuff or double down or triple down, or freaking some of you guys are probably quintupling down or something like that. But just keep an eye on it, okay? I have my watch list here that I try to keep track of every now and again. And some things are up, some things are down. Like some things are up 200%. Some things are down by 80%, okay? So just keep an eye on what your portfolio is looking like to make sure you guys aren't going to be forced to take out a mortgage on your house or something crazy like that, okay? Okay, back over here very fast. Oh, and that last thing here is, remember, as far as the overall market, the stock market is what I'm talking about here, we haven't had that big breakdown yet, okay? If we start breaking down below this, like maybe 14,400 level, just basically the trend line here, then you guys can legitimately be a little bit more concerned for the overall market. Because what did we talk about last week? Because I haven't been able to stream last week. What are we talking about? Controlled dip, and this is the buying opportunity. Now the Nasdaq's a little bit more optimistic than everything else. The Dow Jones, a little bit closer to the support level this week, and the SPY already broke down below its support level down here. But you know, we're gonna the uptrend. Now we're hoping it can kind of just consolidate a little bit more and not break down below the 20-week moving average. I think if you guys want to play it a little bit safer, I guess more people would probably be looking at this. But, you know, to each their own. Dow Jones, though. Yeah, that one's a little bit iffy. Because it's weird because year to date on this one, remember, it wasn't really tearing it up all the time. It kind of just went sideways for the most part. And I guess that, you know, tech isn't really in the Dow Jones for the most part. There's some bits and pieces, but not too much, as you guys know. All right, back over here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, we can just chill for a little bit. Wait to see what happened as far as the chart, because you guys can see this pretty nasty downtrend. But it's not catastrophic. It's a nasty downtrend. And hey, Manny, we might not see a bull market until 2026. I hope you're wrong, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens during the halving, and then what happens when all these ETFs and stuff are announced next year. My big thing as far as crypto is concerned right now, for anybody that's like very bearish or something like that over the whole market, I don't know how long it's going to take necessarily, but the good thing here is if during the next bull run, institutional money is going to be flooding in. So I'm still doing my dollar cost averaging and things of that nature, but you still want to be careful about how crazy you go on at any given point. That's why I say dollar cost averaging is usually the best thing for me. Or I know people that only want to buy during crazy dips and scary moments in time. I don't necessarily like that because maybe I can just show you guys this on the weekly chart here, because I've had friends that have been doing this for years and they love it, but I've never been a big fan of it. So they only buy here. They only buy here. There wasn't really a big scary movement right here. I guess maybe that one right there. Maybe that one right there. And this one right here. You could say the same thing maybe right here. Maybe if they get the good point right here. Right here. And maybe right here. My big thing is I don't want to take the gamble, really, that this is going to be the only low point. I would like to buy over here or have an average of like up here, which is a little bit above it. So like an average of here instead of getting the, well, who knows if they even got the bottom, right? But the average over here, the average over here, the average over here, the average over here, no average right here. So you might want to take a small nibble of it. That was a banking crisis though, so that's kind of its own little thing there. But basically, when these type of events happen, I prefer to try to dollar cost average into them. That makes me a little bit more money, which I found myself, mostly because I don't have the best timing as far as these big old drops here. I'm more of, moving averages. I know it's been a hot minute because like back when all this was happening, it was so much nicer because everything made so much more sense because we didn't have the SEC kind of hopping into our business every freaking week. But you guys remember the death cross we talked about made things really simple. You guys remember that breakdown that we saw? We had the big head and shoulders type plays. A lot more simple technicals were helping us out last year. Right now, I mean, it just looks a lot more ugly, right? We had a nice consolidation phase. We were about to break out. In fact, we did have this small breakout, nothing epic. But what happened? FTX came in and kind of killed us. We're having this nice little uptrend right now. We were going to have another breakdown here as well, but then we had the big news as far as Bitcoin, XRP and stuff like that, ETFs coming out. So news has really been a huge factor for everything we've been seeing over the past few months. It's been a huge factor over here as well. But when the Bitcoin bull market is over, you know which way we're going. Right now, we're kind of in this weird hiatus where we're not entirely sure if we're like in this zone over here, ready for another big pump over the next 5-6 months, or if we're kind of just in this zone over here where we've had a few weeks and months of doing some really good stuff, some volatility, and we're waiting for a big plunge right there. To me, because I'm a pessimist, I always kind of assume we're kind of around here, but we're not going to be taking as large of a dip. We might just come back down here, then make our move back up. But That's why dollar cost average. So in case I'm wrong, we're fine. Because no matter which market you've seen over time, we're not going to have another bear market like this in our lifetimes, I don't think, because of all the way institutional money is going to flood this. And as institutional money floods this, I believe there will be more regulation involved as well, which will make things not as fun for some people, but just safer for others who really go a little bit too crazy when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Remember, guys, you're hardly any of your, well, maybe not more than 20% of your portfolio should be in crypto unless you guys are like really all in and you guys are using this as a long-term type of hold, in which case you guys are really focusing on Ethereum and Bitcoin, and then really picking your altcoins a little bit more precisely, right? You're not just going like scattershot, or I guess some people do like scattershot. Ooh, excuse me, guys. There we go. But those oscillators, specifically in the stock market, especially on the indexes, they're still saying, whoa, something bad could happen here. But again, if we get some news, I think people will be a little bit more happy about it. Or maybe less worried. Less worried is probably a good way to say that. Let's see, in Hades, I kind of know Bitcoin would fall, but when it comes to reality, it sure is interesting. I think it's because, as far as I'm concerned, like over the past few weeks, I've been talking about how things have been slowing down and how I'm afraid for a drop to come, but me hoping for news, basically. I think is when you realize something bad could be happening, you kind of get that feeling. You've done enough technical analysis where you're like, oh, okay, something bad is probably going to happen. But what ends up happening? You miss the timing. You're just not entirely sure what that timing is going to be. And I think that's why it always kind of feels so weird to some people, me included. I'm sticking to a 3x bull bear ETFs and scooping up shares of companies I love for the long term. That's probably a safe way to go, especially if you're thinking for the long term. There's a lot of people right now that are not even thinking about the long term. I mean, at least you probably know the hedge funds are doing okay right now. The hedge funds, they're definitely hedging their bets at this point. They're not all longed into the market. If they were, I'd be very concerned about a potential drop, like a massive drop, but they still look to be doing fine. Is this the right time to buy Matic for the long term? I would say, as far as Matic's concerned, you could take a nibble. I wouldn't say this is going to be like the bottom of Matic for the next few months. I'd probably say it comes a little bit lower at a certain point. But when you think about long-term investments, usually when it comes to stuff like Matic or Bitcoin Cash or I don't know what Ethereum Classic, stuff like that, usually I say that you'd want a dollar cost average. And for whatever reason, if you don't know what that means, it just means you buy like $10 of Matic a week, $100 of Matic a week until you reach your target, whatever that number is to you. I buy, like $1,000 of Ethereum every 2 months. Okay, I buy about $500 of Bitcoin every 3 months. It really depends on how much you want, and then maybe some months I do like 1,000 or 2,000. Maybe I'll cut it in half because it's kind of getting high. I don't want to pay for that value. Stuff like that. Like, for example, when the market really rallied up here and the inflation was going high and everybody was like, what the hell's happening? And all types of crazy stuff and oil prices and inflation stuff over here, yada, yada, yada. I was still dollar cost averaging here. As we moved back up here, I was less inclined to actually buy. So I took a little bit of a pause. I started back over here after like, uh-oh, something big could be happening. And then all of a sudden, come back down here, I'll probably start dollar cost averaging. Probably the beginning of September, if we're still below like $26,000, $27,000. I don't think it's worth buying Bitcoin or other assets if we're above like $27,000 at this point in time. Look at those ugly drawings over there. There we go. Put a smart money concepts on this one too. Don't need a super trend. See. And hey, ACTV, I hope we can all get some good profits. And hey, Nicholas, hope you're doing well, my man. Oh, hey, El Parasito. Things are going good with the family. Hold on a second here. Trying to drink coffee to wake me up. My mom, sister, uncle, grandparents, they're all out in Hawaii right now living their good life, so they're doing pretty fine. I'm watching Loki. I don't like putting Loki in kennels. I know there's safe places, I guess. But I just know Loki would be so sad, and I wouldn't want to do that to him. And I don't know. I'm really attached to him. He's really attached to me. So I usually only want to leave him with family members. So if my whole family is gone, I can't really leave him with anybody. So they're all out. I'm also watching my sister's cat, which is pretty nice right now. The cat's pretty chill, very chill. The dog and the cat get along okay. Not feisty or anything like that, but just like the cat swaps the dog's tail in order to get the dog to chase her, Loki to chase her, and then Loki tries to nudge her a lot if she keeps on trying to smack him in the face, which is really cute. But yeah, everything's been doing fine. I'm about to book a trip to Cancun, I think, next year. That's my spoiling trip, so I'm gonna go to Cancun, and I'm thinking of going to Ecuador for a week, maybe a week and a half, and then going from Ecuador to Cancun, and then once I'm in Cancun, going to like an all-inclusive resort just to kind of relax for a little bit, and then hop back up to Seattle. So I'm thinking of doing that for like a few weeks during the summer, which would be pretty fun. Pretty expensive, but I'm trying to find a cheaper all-inclusive resort, because the one I was looking for that my friend recommended, if I use the Expedia package deal or something, it was gonna be like $5,000 for like 4 nights or something like that. And I was like, don't want to do that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna pay like $3,000 for 4 nights at another resort. I think it's gonna be I think it's one of those excellence properties that I've heard so much about, or it might be the Live Aqua Cancun, I think that's what it's called. I'm not an all-inclusive resort person. I've had a lot of friends like to go down to Cancun or Dominican Republic, and they have all these like really cool resorts like all over the place down there. I'm not so much into it, but I'm thinking of giving it a try. It'd be my first experience with it. But that's yeah, I'm going on my own vacation. But they're in Hawaii. They say it's very nice. There's no more fire over there. Things look pretty nice. Everybody's chill. Nobody's really it's I guess different island, but things are looking okay over there. See, and hey Ramses, Doge is going to blast off. I think Doge is still going to be fine for the long term because it is being propped up by Elon Musk. Really, Dogecoin will need his support for years to come. But it still seems like not Dogecoin. Elon Musk and the X app, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, they're still making moves to become a banking platform, and as soon as they get that under control and wrapped up, then they move over to the crypto side of things, and man, oh man, is it a lot easier for them to start using Dogecoin for certain payments and stuff like that. I'm even sure you're probably even going to see Dogecoin as a form of payments. Maybe you guys know how there's all these earning opportunities when it comes to Bitcoin these days. So like not Bitcoin, what are they called? Subscriptions and stuff like that on Twitter, or journalists posting stuff like Tucker Carlson's posting a lot of videos there because they get exposure. Or maybe they're going to be doing shorts because they own Vine, or long form videos like YouTube. There may be opportunities for people to get paid in cryptocurrencies, which I think could be pretty fun there as well. And maybe, perhaps, this is going to be a long shot here. Perhaps you can like, maybe let's say I made $5,000 on Twitter last month. Okay, now that's not true. I made zero money from Twitter. In fact, I lost $8 on Twitter. Let's say you made $5,000 though. Maybe you want to get paid $1,000 in US dollars. Maybe you want to get paid $1,000 in Bitcoin for a long-term hold. Maybe you want to get paid at $1,000 in Dogecoin or something like that, and it'll allow you to get paid in certain ways if you wanted to. I'd probably say that the easiest way it's going to do it is probably to get paid in either perhaps Dogecoin, but I would say maybe more along the line of Tether, Bitcoin, or Ethereum. Dogecoin would be just because Elon Musk wants to put it up there, basically. So it'll be that type of stuff, which I think will kind of boost up the price a little bit more, just because the news is going to be so good. Overall, Dogecoin has been really going sideways for the longest of times, but when you think about what some of the other tokens have been doing, I'll take that sideways action over a lot of different stuff in the market. There's really been some like really pessimistic stuff that's just been getting like beat down like, you know, week after week after week after week. And hey, Larry, new ETF I'm buying, SRS, short real estate, 3x. Real estate is the weirdest thing right now. Like, I think shorting the real estate in a safe way for the long term is definitely the way to go. But if you're trying to time it and do puts or, mess with the theta and that type of stuff, I just don't see it working out because there are so many problems with real estate right now. Remember? So there's not a lot of houses on the market as far as the lower end houses. I'm not talking about luxury. And part of that is because if I have a house right now and I'm paying $1,500 a month for it with a 3%, interest rate, I can afford that just fine, especially if I'm with my wife or I have a partner, whatever. I'm fine with that. But if I want to move and I want to get maybe a slightly larger house, maybe the cost of the house is up a little bit more than what it used to, but the loan amount, the interest is so high that instead of paying like $1,500 a month, you're now paying like $3,000 a month. And that $3,000 a month cuts into a budget really, really fast, no matter what your income is, right? So that's part of the problem there. And we're not really building up houses fast enough to warrant, I guess, just believing that you want to be holding the real estate ETFs. Like, let me go over here to Finviz very fast. I got a chopsticks to stir my coffee and creamer together with a whole bunch of ice. I should have just got a straw. This is my Aria cup I got from when I was in Vegas with my mom. This cup costs, or not, the alcohol inside this cup cost $30. It was insane. Screener. What's the best way to do this? Should we do mortgage first of all? Let's do mortgage first because, we were just talking about the mortgages. And I want to go over here to charts. Like, you see this crazy pops right here? Like, everything is still at a pretty high level. I go to Ulta and Sephora, so you're going to see a lot of Ulta beauty stuff on here. Apologies, but maybe you find a deal or something. Nice big pops, nice big pops. Coming back down a little bit here. You can see the breakdown there, but still nice pops. Actually, you're seeing some weakness actually appear a little bit more right now. There's a big move right here. Coming down right here. Oh, this Cherry Hill mortgage investment, that's coming down a lot. So you are starting to see that that little bit of caution there. But you're seeing some really good opportunities where, like, hey, oh, this could definitely come down more. This just broke down below the trend. This one can definitely come down more. This one just broke down. This one just broke down a few weeks ago. Broke down. Just broke support. I wouldn't say like broke down upward trend here. Head and shoulders play over there. Broke down. Finding a level of support, but still going to be coming down now. So, real estate from a mortgage perspective, definitely just not in the right spot. But if we go over here to residential. I'll go over here to market cap. I just want it to be larger than $2 billion. There we go. You got a lot more of a mixed bag over here. AVB over here. These are the big dogs. Actually, why is it? Oh, that's apartments. Yeah, apartments are kind of weird. If you guys, well, I don't know if any of you guys live in a luxury apartment buildings, or if you guys live in the downtown area. There's a lot of luxury apartment buildings. I won't say just like downtown apartment buildings that nobody's living in them because the rent is so goddamn high. And so they're struggling because of that. Because remember, in order to build the freaking apartment complex in the first place, they had to get a massive loan themselves, and they still have to make the payments on those loans. But yeah, you really see some clear breakdowns here. My gosh, yeah, not as bad as I thought it was actually going to be. So yeah, there's still extra room to come down. Hotel and motel. This has been something of a more mixed bag too, but I don't know. I never really get into the hotels and motels type stuff. Development is probably the last thing we look at. And yeah, there you go. I mean, this is at 11 million. Like, most of the stuff is so tiny, it's not even going to bother most of you guys. At the high end of a trend can be making a very large double top there. What the heck happened to Green Giant? Went from $2 to 87 cents in just a matter of days. That's a $50 million market cap. That's not going to really go anywhere though. So yeah, you see that that concern out there with the real estate market. And hey, GT, hope you're doing well too. I'm doing pretty well, a little tired, but I'm trying to get my system back kicked up and running. I've been like so out of it the last few weeks because I haven't been able to get to my schedule, and you guys know I have ADHD. A guy with ADHD and no schedule is just like a flailing inflatable, and I'm trying to anchor myself back down. But I have been working on some stuff like this one right here. Starting this Sunday, I'm doing more member stuff because I really need to get started on that one. I've been really pushing it back for a while. So Sunday at 12 p.m. Tier 3 deep dive analysis on 3 options plays. That's for diamond members. Tier 2 is I think Sapphire, and Tier 1 is Emerald. I think that's the way I got it structured. But basically, I'm going to be doing a lot more members videos, and I'm going to enjoy a lot more. I think what's been happening to me over the last few months is when I've been doing this YouTube channel is because the market's been going more sideways, I've been trying to make this stream into something more of a show where I just kind of break down all the big stuff, and then maybe we talk for a little bit. But it's kind of been draining out the energy because I don't really like to be like that most of the time. So what I'm trying to do, GT, and for anybody else that cares, is talk more with you guys like this. Like, we're talking about different stuff, but it's more engaging to me than just trying to break down a whole bunch of technical analysis. When I do get into boring technical analysis, I'll do a little bit here, but basically it'll be like member stuff. But it'll be, how do I say this? See, I'm already tired. Oh, what's it called, guys? Okay, I lost my train of thought there. See, even with the coffee, it's not good. My mind's trying to search for the answer here. Oh, I'm going to be looking to do more of those strategy videos that I put out a couple months ago. I stopped doing them again because I got pretty tired and stuff like that. But basically, if I go over here to my YouTube channel, you can see I made a whopping $1,100. I think it was $1,132. I want to go over here and do more of the videos that some of you guys watch, some of you guys don't. Well, I just explain different indicators and stuff like that. Like, there's a channel over here called Pine Trades. I'm not going to be making the exact videos this guy does, but basically they'll break down something. It's more flashy than informative, but I'm going to try to make the beginning of my videos flashy so people will stick around. And then what I'll do is I will actually break it down a little bit more simply with kind of like extra little tidbits to make the teaching process easier for you guys to understand. But you know, I try to watch videos like this and see what they're talking about, see if I can make a simpler version. But I guess, so I watched a lot of these videos, not just on Pine Trades, but a lot of different channels out there. I back test it, and like 90%, 80% of these strategies actually don't work out. So it's hard for me to actually pick ones that I'd actually want to do videos on. Like there's one right here, Stock Accurate. I don't know who this guy is, but let me see. He just popped up here over the last few weeks. 98% high probability dynamic levels breakouts, an incredibly easy technique. So I could watch that for a second and see if it's actually working. Then I would back test it, and if it's back testing, it would work out. So that's the goal. That's why when I do my tutorials, like I have a tutorial coming out next few days. It's going to be about the strategy or some of the tools I should have on this page right here, where you're looking for a few different things. You're looking for the sell signal. You're looking for the smart money to kind of have that red. You're looking for a change of character on the bearish side of the bullish side to kind of match the trend here. Looking for that death crossover here, MACD bearish crossover, or a divergence, if you will. This actually had a divergence with it too. You're looking for the stochastic to have a crossover, then you're waiting for the orange line right here to actually go into the neutral zone and kind of signify more of more volatility, so you might be more inclined to buy into it. And you can see the squeeze indicator down here. I'm trying to have that. I made a strategy about all this stuff, and I won't explain it all because I'll have a video coming out about it pretty soon. But big point here is, I try to design it so it could be used for Google and stuff like that. So you can see there's no sell sign right here. There's no smart. Oh, actually, there's a smart money red bar right here. We haven't had Oh, this actually coming down a little bit. We have had the crossover here a little bit here. So squeezing. So we don't have the downward trend just yet. We don't have the squeeze being released just yet. But it's getting closer from an opportunity to short Google, at least in the 4-hour chart. Then you want to look at the order block, and that's really just going to take you for maybe, by the time it hits, maybe 127, 128, no, 126, maybe to 120. So, you know, a small drop, but a drop that can make you profit if you're doing options. So, meta, you got sell, change of character, sell, 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 sell. This is something you guys could have been looking at, I guess, as far as this day, and you guys would have had a cool, now this is a 4-hour chart, so you guys would have had like 8 hours of profit. And then what happened? You know, you're going into an order block, you know, so then you got to be like, oh, should I sell here or should it scale out? Looks like you should have sold, but maybe you guys a little bit of both, right? So it's stuff like that. I don't know, but like, that's tech. I guess a bank could be interesting. I never tried it on a bank. Here's JP Morgan. So you got to sell right here, change your character right here, crossover right there, orange is in the neutral zone after the crossover here, and you have to squeeze. So yeah, this one would work too. So like, I try to do a lot of back testing behind it, but all the videos that I do stuff like that for, they don't get as many views as this guy. Like this guy has last few, like 2 weeks ago, 7,000, 5.5, 5.4 because there's so much flash here. So I spend a lot of my time doing the really boring work, which is this stuff. So like stuff like this. Remember the Smart Money Guide? It's much more of a boring tutorial, but what happens is, right? It had a big poof. It was my only viral video that I've ever done actually got those big views. But what happens afterwards? It gets tons of search views. Maybe I can zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see it. I don't really care about the viral part. Well, I do now, which is why I'm starting to pay an editor to have like more of a flash at the beginning before I get into the meat of the strategies and stuff. But this is all I'm looking for my videos, is to have this slight uptrend right here. I can even go down a little bit. I've been posting a lot of shorts recently from using Opus clips and stuff like that. Ultimate, the trading view tutorial I made that was like 3 hours long. What do you see? Slow, steady grind, slow, steady grind. And it kind of pays for itself in the long term. Like, you know, I probably spent about 20 hours on this video. It's at 3.5, you know, I did a whole bunch of tutorials, had to get all the editing done, cut it all up, and try to make it as easy as possible if you guys understand. And so far it's made 400 bucks. You know, within a few more months, maybe it makes me $1,000 or something. And then I spent like 20 hours for $1,000. You know, a few more months after that, it's like 20 hours gets me $2,000. Oh, you know. So I'm hoping that's how it goes, because I don't need money ASAP. Only time I really need money ASAP is when I'm booking my vacations for the most part. But like even stuff like this, the simple videos like how to add a moving average, like. Right? You would never think that somebody actually needs help with this, or I would never, but apparently people do, and I make videos just to kind of help them out. So I got the very simple stuff like this, but then I also got the trading strategy part of it too. But all of my videos, just a little bit right here. This took me like 5 minutes, and I made 61 bucks so far off of it, but granted, it almost took like a year for it to pay out, but what do you call it? You know, that's the type of stuff I've been looking forward to a lot. So I'm excited to start doing more of these videos, and these videos get the best views on my channel. So I'm also very happy about that. But yeah, so it'll be nice to see how that works out. Oh, I zoomed in so much I cannot see the comments on the YouTube thing. There we go. There we go. Okay. I left my window open and I got fruit flies. I just slapped a fruit fly in my face. That's okay. I do it a lot when I'm camping, or I guess that's mosquitoes. There you go. Best island to visit, especially first-time visitors to Hawaii, is Kauai. Most chill. My son was born in Kauai. I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing that right. I need to go back. Definitely fat, but that sounds really, really nice. I've only been to Hawaii like once, I think, and I don't even remember what island it was. It was like you stay at a resort, and then you don't really leave the resort. I was only there for a couple of days though, because I was on my way to is it Thailand or something like that? Somewhere over there. So I was only there for a little bit. But it was very nice. 2-bedroom house I rented back in 2004 for $1,250. Recently saw the same house for $4,400. Yeah, see, that's insane. And hey, Redback, please recommend me any channel for your trade setup. I mean, I have a bunch of videos and a whole bunch of different trade setups. It's really what type of strategy you're really into. So like, you know, you could use smart money concepts with super trends for a very basic one if you guys are looking to do 15-minute trades. So like if you guys want to do a 15-minute chart on Bitcoin, for example. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. The hardest thing about doing tutorial videos for you guys is the fact that like zooming in to show you guys everything, so you guys can see this everything's to scale basically. So basically here, if I were to open this up, go over here to settings, let me go to normal. Let's go to normal. Okay. You guys can see this big O red signal right here that says, hey, maybe you should start selling. Some people use it as a straight sell signal. I like to say, hey, something good could be happening here pretty soon. Maybe I want to add actually order blocks onto this to Confluence, and let's do swing and internal, I guess, just to show you more stuff that's here. There we go. Okay. So maybe if I do this, all right, auto. So I'm going to see if I can keep this here, but let me just go through here. So if you guys follow green versus red, see red, you could have made some shorts there. Going into the order blocks here, a green, hit the order block there. Red, hit the order block there. Green, hit the order block there. But hey, it ended up going a little bit higher. Right, had a big drop off, but hit that next big order block here. So, you know, if we're going a little bit more of a sideways channel, which you kind of see this is more sideways movement, maybe you could just use this if you wanted to for just straight buy and sell signals. What I tend to do is I will try to add other things on top of it. So what I might try to do here is I might try to add on the super trend, right? Mine is tweaked a little bit from the standard one because this is Keyvon super trend, not the basic super trend, and the ATR period is 50 and the ATR multiplier is 5.1. I have videos on this on my channel. But I got that. And so what I like to do sometimes is I don't actually open a position unless I see the sell and the super trend going in the right direction, the same direction. Okay, so very fast. Let's do it here. So you have the buy right here and the change of character. That's a little bit of a trade right there. You got the sell plus change of character. That worked out for a few minutes. More of scalping opportunities is which I like this for because it's the 15-minute chart. But you got the red and red. Trade it right there. The red, this is all still red. So you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do this bullish change of character here because it's still within the sell, which just means more of a downward trend. And so that kind of saves you from losing money right there. That's really the purpose of it. And there's other ways to kind of, say, hey, be careful of that move or something like that. But I think it's kind of like a nice little handicap for people, basically. But there's all different types of ways to trade. You could add a MACD on this if you wanted to. What I prefer to do is use this 15-minute chart for scalping for things like this. But you do it within a larger time frame too. So you do it within an hour time frame. So you can see, hey, there's this big selling point here. If I can do this again, there we go. We can clearly see the red times, the big sell signal, some greens in here too. But the same rule applies. Change of character here within the red, you have a few hours to make your money there and do something with it. Change of character right here, right afterwards, it actually never got as high again. Change of character here, you have a few hours to work yourself out. Now, it's up to you to kind of figure out how you want to trade that, because remember, you're looking at 15-minute charts within those hours. So you're not using that hourly chart to make the trades and close the trades. But right here, you have 4 or 5 hours to make some good trades on the 15-minute chart. Over here, you have, I don't know. I mean, there's a big drop there, so you probably would have scaled out or sold during that drop. But you have a few hours to make some money there. You would have missed out on this move right here, right? You would have missed out on that, though, if you follow this strategy. So you're always tweaking it to kind of fit yourself. The regular super trend is much different than this super trend, though. So if I do... Let me just get rid of this very fast. Let's get out of there. All right, so... You can see the basic super trend. Let me get rid of smart money concepts. You can see a sell right there. There's a buy. There's a sell. And actually, let me just go to a daily chart. Why am I making it look so much? Oh, no. This is more realistic, I guess you could say, right? So you see all these buy and sell signs right here. If you want the normal super trend by Keyvon without changing any of his numbers. All right. So you see how there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Usually with the basic one, instead of 20 on here, you might see 25, 30 or something like that. So let me double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Oh, did I count wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. My math is so off, or just my counting ability is so off. It's about 13, okay? This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, yeah, a lot more than I want to count, okay? I tried to smooth out all of those signals, so I'm not getting so many. I don't want to have as many false signals, okay? So you can see right here, sell, that turned on right here. That worked out a little bit. This one right here worked out a little bit. This buy one didn't really work out. Maybe more of scalping. I guess it's more of a scalper's thing right here. But I prefer having these longer ones because I like to do a lot of trades within these time frames, especially when I'm looking at the hour charts. Remember, this is the hour one. Sell right there, buy right there. You still have some time to work with it, but I don't want to have this little mini sell here or this buy right here, because if I go over here to this other one, this is all still within that sell trend. So most of the trades I do over here are going to be making much more money. Like for example, if you see this pretty nice uptrend, I know I'm in the sell, and there's an overall downtrend, so I'm much more likely to make that trade right there. Where if I am, maybe for example, I'm seeing something like this. Wow, look at that breakout that happened right there, or that breakout that happened there. Oh, nothing happened. That was all shit breakout, right? It's that type of stuff where I think it helps, because you could always do all these signals, but we all use trend lines. We all use MACDs and RSIs and stochastics and maybe squeeze indicator here or there. But those things help you just feel like, oh, wow, yeah, this isn't the best time to be really going long into this position, is it? It's that type of stuff. But again, you're still going to make mistakes. You're still going to make bad trades. Heck, I still make bad trades. It's just you have to make more money consistently over time. That's the whole goal here, right? So you can pull it out and spin it on stuff you like. So let's go back over here. We can leave this super trend off right there, and then back to where we started. And a good thing here, guys, is Bitcoin's actually managed to have a little bit of a bounce right here, which is making our lives a little bit easier right now. And hey, Alentime, happy to see you back. And hey, Hiram, what's up, Mike? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well right now. A little tired, but I've been trying to drink a bunch of coffee. But man, like I have an espresso machine, and I literally just the other day got brand new beans delivered to me. But I was really lazy and I didn't want to open up my grinder and do all that type of stuff. So I had this Keurig, and I did 2 4-ounce shots of strong coffee from the Keurig, and I put it in here with some creamer. So trying to wake me up a little bit here. I've been busy the last few days. There we go. And hey, Matt, actually never boring. I think I'm boring constantly, but it's not even being boring that worries me. It's the fact that I feel like I'm not being the fun side of myself, maybe. Like, I can have a lot of fun in my life. I have a lot of fun when I go out and do lots of stuff. But when I feel like I'm streaming, I feel like I'm supposed to be less fun and more serious. I want to be my normal fun self and not feel like I'm being judged for being too fun when it comes to trading. I want to be more casual and fun, but at the same time go on these rants where I just break down some technical analysis and maybe a cool little tidbit for somebody to talk about. And I'm getting there. But yeah, I overthink stuff a lot. That could be ADHD kind of cutting in, but I overthink everything. And so I got anxiety, and I got, what do you call, how do I say it? I feel like I'm being judged, I guess. I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah. So it's that type of stuff. When I really should just be like, I don't care what people think. But then I also do care what people think, you know what I mean? But I care what certain people think. Right? So for those of you guys like Larry, Island Time, Haram, Mattis, Daily Pizza, Manny, a lot of you guys, Nicholas, El Parasito, Rams, a lot of you guys that have been here for a long time, I care about your opinions, and I try to listen to what you guys say when you guys are asking questions or giving your opinions or something like that. But if you guys put a comment down saying, oh, I did not like this, so I have a different opinion. I would give it some thought, you know, something like that. But most of the time I don't, I guess, because most people kind of rant about the stupidest things. But stuff like that. Oh, Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a boost now. We're back above 26,000. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. You go, Bitcoin. You go. 5 minute chart here. There we go. But yeah, it's stuff like that. I think it's because my anxiety, before I start going to your questions, I know some of you guys want to look at PayPal. I'll look at that in a second. So you guys may have never felt this, or you guys may have felt this. I'm not entirely sure. Let's say you're hanging with a friend and you say, hey, I want to try out this new, like, you're looking for some place to go to lunch. I was like, oh, I want to try out this new restaurant. Like, I know in a couple of days I'm going to this new remodeled restaurant that I've never been to before, called like Lobster Shack or Lobster Shop, somewhere on the waterfront of Tacoma. Never been there, but it seems kind of cool, so I want to try it since it's revamped. And so your friend's like, oh, sure, let's give it a try. I love shellfish, or I love fish, or whatever is there, seafood, I presume, right? But then you go to the restaurant and you get your food and you're like, oh, it's pretty good food. I like it. You know, I'm pretty happy with it. I got myself a mojito or something. I'm enjoying it. But if they say, I don't like my food too much. Now, it's not my fault they don't like their food. It's the restaurant's fault for not making the food to meet their expectations, or maybe they have a bad palate. Who knows? But I'll feel bad about it for just like a cool 2 minutes after they say it, when I really shouldn't. That's the sum of like the majority of like my feelings about a whole bunch of stuff, that feeling that I have. And so for those 2 minutes, I'm kind of bummed out for just a little bit. And then I'm like, dude, you're freaking stupid right now. It's not your fault. They're not even trying to make you feel bad. You're just feeling bad because you're being stupid. It's that stuff that bothers me. And it's like, it's all under my control. So once I realize that, I'm like, oh, okay, let me just grab another drink and I'll be happy with it, right? Because every time I go to a restaurant, I like to drink. I don't really drink at home too much. Maybe a glass of whiskey or something, but it's more moderated beverage drinking than when I go out to the restaurants and stuff like that. Like the other day, I went to get sushi. I had like 4 things of sake over like a 2 hour period. Oh my gosh, I was having a good time. I actually got drunk with margaritas at the house here, on like very traditional, like not very basic margaritas. Like I have there was like a Ninja cups, ice, mixer, tequila, put it in the blender, pulse it for like 5-10 seconds, and then boom, you got a margarita that's icy. You just drink it like that. Maybe a little bit light on the tequila, but it was pretty fun. Stuff like that. That's a chill time for me. Okay, so as far as PayPal is concerned, PayPal is kind of a weird one right now. Let's go over here. Let's go to the weekly chart. So, like, it's been in a downtrend for just so freaking long. Like, is this something you would probably want to invest in for the long term? Yes. Is this something you really want to invest in anytime soon? Really, no. Now this is the weekly chart here. You can just see how it just looks so bad from where it was in 2020 when it was so beautiful. It was just going sky high, right? But if we kind of zoom in a little bit over a few different things, let's go over here to the daily chart now. You can see that we have this really nice downward trend right here. Whenever we're able to break above that, I would do much more long-term trading while going long into it, okay? Until then, the shorts really have the control here. We had a support level down here. We broke down below it, tested it out. Oh, let me zoom in here for you guys. Tested it out, broke out, found support again, came back up, and then boom, came back down. Now, this isn't designed for this, so it's going to look a little bit funny to you guys, but basically, you know, now we're at this weird impasse again, right? So it's just not something you'd definitely want to be holding on to. Now we're looking at that. Whenever this breaks out, you're in a good spot. Whenever it does, you're going to be just fine. But what I'd be looking for here, and this is something you could probably do the basic MACDs and stuff like that. Oh, see, this is why I hate MACDs so much. It should be a default thick line. You should have the ability to make it a default thick line. There you go. All right. So you're seeing a little bit of a little bit of some bullish divergence is occurring here, right? So you got the higher lows and the lower highs over here. So you're seeing it, but it just hasn't really manifested itself. And sometimes it doesn't because of the way the economy is going and just the health of the company. And we haven't really seen them do much of anything good as of late, right? Earnings over here drop, earnings over here drop. Earnings over here, slight drop, but I would say more neutral. Earnings over here drop, earnings over here pop, right? And that was coming after the huge crash of last year, so that's, you know, they probably beat expectations. Over here, slight pop, then drop. Earnings over here drop, earnings over here drop, earnings over there drop. This is back to like when it was above like 250, 260. Earnings right here, a little bit of nothing, then drop. Earnings over here pop. You're seeing a lot more drops, right? Drop. They're just not really doing much. They haven't been doing much for a while. Everybody was anticipating they were going to have some really great success, and it just never really came together, did it? But really, even going back over here to the daily MACDs and stuff like that, you're looking for a short-term opportunity if you want to go trading long here, maybe bring it back up towards something along the lines of $66, maybe 67. The MACD hasn't crossed over yet, but you have higher lows right here, and you got lower lows, but you got higher highs over here as well. You know, I just wait for this crossover and see if you can get it to maybe $65 or so. I would only be holding this for a few days at a time if you really wanted to go into it. Options preferably, but if you like options, you would probably want to hold this for like a week to 2 weeks, and then you'd use your basic stop loss there to protect yourself from any major losses. So with this one in particular, let's say you were to buy it right here. Let's go over here. You go to see the MACD crossover that happened right here, leading to some nice moves on the shorter term time frames here. Probably the 1 hour chart was a beauty on this one. Yeah, there's that crossover here, but see, it needs to be, there's too many signals here. It needs to be increased just a little bit, like I had my other one there. But don't worry about it for now. So let's go over here to 4 hours. Got it here very fast. If you were to buy right now with an anticipation of breaking above the 50 moving average on the 4 hour chart, really, you know, if you're conservative, your stop loss would be $58.78. That's where I would have my stop loss if I'm going along here. Otherwise, you could have your stop loss be down here around 57.15. It's fine. You could. This is something if you maybe want to hold for like 2 to 3 weeks and you want to see it go up a little bit higher, maybe even past $64 or so. You could do that. I'm just a little bit more iffy at the same time, but you know, we did hit a big support level here. But if I go over here very fast, let's get down to this very quickly. Excuse me. Where is it? Oh, am I going to lose my train of thought here? No, we can just do this one instead. There you go. You know, these two levels of support are really, maybe even from 57 to, yeah, there we go, a little bit lower. Those would be your two opportunities to find your good support levels here. If you're looking for something maybe a little more fun, I guess you could say, as far as like, hey, you're going to be doing day trading, 3 to 4 day trading, right? It's already getting very close to this white bar right here. You can see the resistance level right here. It's matching up with the 50. That's doing pretty well too. But really, that's that short-term level that you're looking at. That's kind of around $61.83. You're almost there. So you might actually see a pullback here, and that could be your entry point if you wanted to go up a little bit higher, if you want that best entry point. And then maybe you're looking for 63. That 63 matches up pretty well with what's up there for this resistance level. You know, so depends on the ratio of what you're looking for. That's what I was looking for. Ratio. So hoping to get there. Oh, the magnet's on. That's what's going on. Right there. So you really get, it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not really the best here. So, you know, you're risking like 3.5% for 3.5%, or like 4% for 4%. Yeah. It would have been better if you were buying at the support level. Then if you were able to do that, then you'd be much more in line to buy stop loss down here. somewhere around here. You probably wouldn't get the bottom. And then you have an 8% possibility for return, or you could be looking for with only a potential to lose about 3%. But again, remember what I just showed you a few seconds ago. You wouldn't even really be going for that one. You'd be what would you be going for here if you didn't have that information at the time? You'd be going for that right there, which is kind of admit. So 3% for 5%. It's a little bit better. Yeah, a little bit better, but still not the best, honestly. But I mean, you know, then your stop loss would be very, very small, basically. Yeah, that's why I probably would have played that one right there. But big points, if you're trying to go into it right now, you're kind of in this middle zone where you should be a little bit more concerned about the potential for it to drop down a little bit more. But you might have 2 more days of bullish moves if you want to get into it. Longer term, you could always try to go, like I said, through this overall trend right here. If I can find my pen, let's go to cheat sheet to make that, you know, bounce back up. But maybe just for safety's sake, have a scale out point around 63 so you can lock in some profits, and just keep that stop loss anywhere between 57 and, you know, what is this? 50. It's at 60 bucks. Let's do 58 to $57 is really going to be those stop losses that you're looking for there. That's the way I'd be playing it there, and you're hoping that over the next few weeks we can kind of have this big climb just like we did, like right there. Yeah. Be careful of it in the short term, but it looks like it wants to break out and go a little bit higher. It's going to get squeezed here pretty soon. It'll have a nice breakout, but you really just want to see some good news come out of it, because, you know, maybe we go over here to Fairdesk very fast just to kind of show you something here. You could already see how this is come down over the crazy moves this thing has done. It's profitable. Profitability is something you really want to see in this current market, because there's a lot of stuff that's not making money, but they're making a profit. Anytime you see that, it's good. August, downgrade. Price target is 65. Remember, the price currently is $60. So not too much higher than where we are now. Downgraded in July from 7. No, actually reiterated, so hold, so that's not bad. Initiated by 85. That's June. One day before, it was a overweight to neutral, downgrade, and May reiterated from 112 to 90. That's not good, but still a buy. But I guess that didn't really turn out well, right? So sentiment isn't really strong on it, but it might as well make that trade if you want to. Worst thing, you lose like 3%. But if you don't have that stop loss, you could definitely lose more. So just protect yourself from a potential drop with that one. And lucky for you, there's no more earnings coming up for a while. Because, let me just get rid of everything here. You know, the next time earnings come around is all the way over here in November. So, you know, November 6th. So you're fine there. But yeah, be careful with that one. That one is oosh. It just has a weird story behind it overall. What are the chances we go to 27K for our hourly 200 bounce? I would say there's a decent chance. I'd have a stop loss around 25,600, so maybe like 400 points or something like that. But remember when I talked about the beginning of the the stream, it's that Gann fan that's really giving us a level of support here. Because after that, I mean, if we can hold that for a little bit, just hold this general support level. Let's do it like this. If we can kind of hold this a little bit, then we're looking for next week, not necessarily this week, but next week, we're looking for the overall curve that brings us back up, and then we fall back down again. Don't be faked out. That's going to be a massive bull trap right there, but it'll be an awesome play. But it'll probably happen sometime next week, to be frank. Unless we get some good news. Good news never hurt. the daily chart, you can see we're still kind of hovering around. Might take us a little bit of time, but there's a chance. But you'd be buying right now, hoping that it comes out a little bit later. And again, your stop loss would be kind of around here on 25,300, 2%, 2.5% loss for the opportunity to make about 4.5%. Not bad. Maybe a little bit even higher here, but yeah, really, 27,000 perfectly enough to get out of there. So 4.5%. It's something that you could do. And you know, people, you're getting tons of opportunities to buy low here, so that's also a big help there too. And let me, where does the drawing start? There we go. There we go. All right. And hey, Danny boy, I'm here every day, but I keep my opinions to myself. I appreciate that, Danny boy. I very much do. And hey, Haram, hell yeah, man. Been here since March 2021. I don't usually comment a lot, but I support the channel. Hey, yeah, you guys don't even have to comment. I appreciate everybody that watches. Oh, Loki came over here to say hi. I follow you about 2 years. Like, you tell your stories, you experience, keep it up. Don't overthink it. I can't not overthink it. Like, the amount of medication I have, I'm not even taking my medication right now because my antibiotics and some other medication was messing with some other medication, so it was like dulling me out, so I stopped it all. But the number of pills I have, I guess I don't even take all these pills, like, you know, they up the dosage so you don't use the other ones anymore, but when they up the dosage you get a fresh new batch of pills. But like, I got medication 1, 2, 3. Granted, a lot of this stuff is actually just the same thing but in different sizes. There's 4. Okay, there's only 3 more. I'm not going to say I'm like some type of pill maniac, but you know. Here. And here. I got a bunch of them. Now, within all those, like, what is that, 7? There's probably like 3 different types of medications. And one of them is an antibiotic. But, and then one of them is an ibuprofen. So it's not like I'm taking a bunch of pills, but like, ibuprofen is probably the one I like the most because it's like, you know, pain medication. I just haven't had a reason to take ibuprofen, so I've only taken like maybe 2 of the pills in here. But maybe one day I'll have a reason to. Maybe one day Loki will go crazy and bite me and I'll need pain medication. But I don't think he'll do that because he's so babied right now. Loki, come here. He's trying to find his comfortable spot, but he's just having so much trouble with it. Oh, you smell like a dog. He needs to take a bath. He did not like me saying that at all. He's not a fan of baths. But what I just got for Loki today, actually, it just got delivered. I've been trying to think of something to buy because like, every now and again I put tons of like $4,000 to $5,000 on my credit cards all at once because I'm booking trips. I'm buying gifts. I'm doing something, you know, buying something, right? Then there comes a point where I'm like, oh, I shouldn't really do much, or I should just, you know, pay off my credit card debt. So all of a sudden I just paid off the $5,000 worth of credit card debt within like a couple weeks. And then I ended up buying Loki one of these things. Let me see if I can find it without giving away my address. Orders. This thing. This thing. Oh yeah, it just says, yeah, last purchase, yeah. What the heck is going on? Okay, there we go. I got him one of these. Little dog vacuum things. Where you can vacuum your dog. Oh, it's not showing the pictures. There you go. That's white, that's white. Okay, only 2 pictures work apparently. But I got him one of these. So I'm excited to see how they work. I never tried it before. I don't even know if he's going to like it, but it said low noise, so I was hoping the low noise might make him not be afraid of it or something like that. But I'm hoping it works out. And if it works really well, I'm going to buy one for my mother to use on my sister's cat when my sister goes off to college and she's not going to be there to groom the cat whenever, you know, she needs to or something like that. So that'll be pretty interesting to see if the cat likes it too. The cat's not going to let me do it, but she may let my mom do it or my sister do it. You think BlackRock's going to push it down for a better buy-in? It's definitely in their interest to do so, and we haven't seen hedge funds or the man, as far as the financial system is concerned, really buy large amounts of cryptocurrencies. I bet they have some type of like company that they sub-own that has a bunch of cryptocurrencies or something like that, but they don't have enough to be part of the actual market and be able to profit largely from all the craziness going on, right? Whenever we see like the bull markets and stuff like that, and bear markets. I would say you're right. BlackRock has way too much power, though. They're freaking crazy strong. They have power of all types. If you guys remember Lord of the Rings, they say, Cersei says power is power because Littlefinger said knowledge is power. She's like, no, power is power. They have power, and I bet they will try to use it to scare some stuff out. Remember though, the huge surprise that we could see is when this case goes to trial between or this case goes forward in front of the judge, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to the SEC and Binance. If there's any credibility to what the SEC says, that in and of itself could just crush Binance. And then Binance, the largest exchange, the most popular exchange, the one that everybody knows about, that could be gone. That's the doomsday scenario. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying if there is proof, it could cause a full-on panic rout. Then it really comes into play that Binance is able to keep their inflows and outflows working properly, so people don't get more and more afraid and all the money gets pulled out and everybody's freaking out and oh my god, the world's ending. Because they're going to have to make a choice at a certain point if it does get full on FUDified, so to speak. Do they protect Binance US at the expense of Binance, the universal, the global corporation? Or do they just let Binance US crumble, Americans lose their money, but the global conglomerate, whatever you call it, that survives? Man, just who freaking knows? Who freaking knows? I would say they would help the Binance US, but I just know it'd be very, very interesting those few weeks if there was some catastrophe or there was some FUD. Let's just call it FUD because we don't know entirely what the FUD would turn into. There's been like 7 or 8 FUD attacks on Binance in the past year or so, and Binance has been fine with all of them. And if you guys remember, I think we always forget about all the crazy stuff that happens in the crypto market. Remember, like a few months ago, not all the stable coins were just like falling off cliffs, and then they all came back up to normal levels. But it was like freaking terrifying for those few weeks. Like, we've been in some rough spots before, but the market is able to bounce back. And I think even if that happens, we'd be able to bounce back, but you better believe BlackRock and those types of institutions would be buying up crypto at very low levels, hopefully. GME, yeah, sure. GME. I haven't looked at GameStop in God knows how long. Let me drag this up here very fast. So it's down 6% today. Was it like an earnings report or something? No, it's just down 6% today. Yeah, just, my God, yeah. Earnings are coming up. It had a breakdown a long time ago. I mean, you can see that right there. I mean, these things happen so much more than you think. Oh, and after a couple of golden crosses, too. That's a shame. Weekly chart. Oh, the weekly chart death crosses were coming. That's why. All right. So you can see that breakdown clear as day. Let's go over here very fast. Let's just kind of open this up. So you're really not going to really be looking to buy into this too much until maybe the next week or the week after. I really would like to buy this somewhere under $17. You might even say below $16.30, $16.40. I'd want to make sure I at least get something into it here. I'd probably say just below $17. I'd pull the trigger on it, or pull the line, so to speak, and try to hook that sucker. See, there's just not much order in this. Not much order at all. Okay, let's see if we can do something fun here. All the way. We're there, but okay. No, nothing. That was just too much of a psycho move right here. And I guess it all goes back to the fact that the chaos that happened back over here with the Robinhood scamming everybody out of their money there. Very little order there. All right. And a little bit of support for this thing. Yeah, this thing looks like it just wants to come down and down and down. Nothing is holding on this sucker. It's not really going with precise levels. It's going more off of trends, it looks like here. All right, let's go back over the daily chart. So it's had a pretty bad day. It's breaking down below everything that was support. Your next big support level is, yeah, it's really just come back down here below $17. If you want to buy it, that's it. But there's not really much good news here. It's all just coming down, and I guess that's because earnings are what, September 6th? Maybe people are kind of getting a little bit more worried about that. Earnings here, it jumped up. Earnings there didn't really do much, but just came down over time. Maybe people are a little bit scared. But GameStop. I haven't heard any stories of tons of, like, you know, hundreds of people running into GameStop to steal the games. This is going to be so hard because the technicals in this, they're just trash. Okay. Let's have some fun with GameStop very fast here. Block price to bar ratio. Walker in. Wait, why isn't this snapping into place? That's so confusing. It's not snapping with the magnet. Is this a weak magnet or something? Oh. There you go. Okay. Jeez, alright. Let's get this at a locked price ratio. Let's go to log on here. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit nicer. Let me get the 45-degree angle out of here too. Fell down 2-to-1 right there. That's always nasty. Broke down here, never able to cover. Broke down here, came back up. Still, and not looking so hot. If you want something maybe more precise here from a Fibonacci level, 1626 seems to be a solid level. Both times prior, it did come back down below this level. Then it made a bounce from there. But it goes back to $17. $17 to $16 is that sweet spot if you want to buy for a bounce here. How many times is it going to bounce? That's a really good question. I really don't know. Go over here to the daily chart. Bounce, bounce. You even see the resistance here just for a little bit as we try to break back above that Gann fan. Yeah. Honestly, I would just love to see this. Its earnings is good messing this up because you can't really buy options for too far out. But if I was to go YOLO in this, I would definitely try to buy some options that are like 3 weeks out for like $15, $13, $14 strike price for GameStop, hoping that it breaks down and crumbles during the earnings report. But the risk would be so high, it would have to be something more of a YOLO play. And then, of course, you know, if I go back over here to the weekly chart, you got your next big level of support over here. Oh, I got the strong. All right, so down here. Yeah, that's how I would try to play it, but you're really just looking for that support level if you're looking for a bounce. But what do you see? This is the first big death cross that we've seen where the 200 weekly moving average has finally been coming into play here. The 50 and the 200 having that big crossover, that's the mega boom, ouch, that sucks type of thing. We had one with the 20 crossing down below the 200. That didn't really do much. I mean, yeah, it did lead to a little bit of a drop, but nothing crazy. Yeah, the last time it happened, clearly, nothing good happened there. I guess the last time it happened here, that was also not a good move there. Yeah. Yeah, really, it just seems like it'd be better to buy some longer term puts on this sucker and hope that earnings helps you out. That's the way I'd be looking at this right now. Be careful with it, because it's definitely not been listening to a lot of technicals, but those Fibonacci levels probably have been doing some good. Might even be worth trying to put a Gann square or a Gann box on top of it to help you out. But even then, is it really going to be like adhering to that? It's a long shot at this point. I think BlackRock's going to push it down for a better buy-in. Oh, yeah. And hey, on time, can I check out GOEV? GoEV? Is that an EV stock? GoEV? Canoe Inc. Before I talk about it, let me just kind of just see what it is. So IPO'd, looks like in 2020. Coming down ever since. 51 cents, definitely a risky bet, I guess you already know that. It's losing more money every quarter than the market cap is worth. Or year, excuse me. Auto manufacturers, okay. I see. So the delivery vehicles for commercial purposes, but they also have a lifestyle vehicle. So these guys are really trying to dive into the futuristic look, which I actually think is pretty cool. I mean, part of me thinks this looks very stupid. Part of me is like, I could see myself driving this just for the fun of it. Platform. Okay. Are you fucking kidding me? How much is this company valued at? This company is valued at 323 million. And you got the fucking board selling shit? Okay, it's only $15,112 worth. Okay. Oh, and the executive chairman bought $5 million worth. Okay, probably out of some salary or something. Dude, yeah, for fuck's sake, Jesus. Like, do they really need to sell this shit, or do they like? You better believe in the company enough to like not have to sell this much. Because like, remember, it's like 15,000 worth now, but give it like 5 years, and if the company does well, it could be like worth millions. But like, damn. Okay, back over here to what's going on with it. Daily chart, it's finding a nice little bottom here, probably why you're asking about it. Found a bottom for 41 cents. Oh, that's already a monster jump right there too. Okay, so it looks like what you're going to be looking for right now is an opportunity for a breakout. So you'll know probably tomorrow if this is going to be a good buying opportunity here. For this one, it's a lot easier because even though it's kind of a penny stock, it hasn't had the crazy volatility that is not listed in the technicals. You could definitely see it's like gone up a lot percentage-wise, but it's not like it's had any crazy, oh my god, that doesn't make any sense moves. It's all kind of, it's organized. There's people trading this that aren't like, you know, all Wall Street bets people, I guess you could say. Okay, I was just gonna add the MACD, just some simple stuff on here very fast. I'm sure the RSI, I'm just gonna take a quick peek at the RSI. Take a quick peek at the RSI. There we go. Yeah, the RSI is having a bullish crossover, and there's no divergence there, which is fine. No divergence there, which is fine. But it's not oversold. It's not overbought. Okay, we can get rid of that very fast. You're about to have the crossover right here. That was a false signal. No divergence. I won't smooth this out since it's a penny stock here. Actually, this would be a good idea. Let's go with the impulse MACD. No, this one still hasn't crossed over too, but it's getting close. Okay. Loki farted somewhere. I can smell it. It's never a pleasant smell. What do you call it? Yeah, when you do smell it, it smells. But if you most of the time, I guess you probably won't smell it. Okay. So let's start off here with the. I think we need to start with the monthly chart. Monthly chart. All I want you to understand is it's come down quite a bit, but it stopped coming down. It's been holding for almost 3, 4, 5, 6 months now. Gone down a little bit more, but really we've been holding a nice steady level. I'd say for the last 3 months, really. Weekly chart, just like the monthly chart, a lot of consolidation here. We did make a new low over here back in June, but really we've been doing okay. But you should understand we're kind of still in this downtrend here. So everything that we're kind of doing right now is all within this certain trend. So if you do go long here for whatever reason for this breakout, really that's what you're looking at right now. For me, I'd be more interested in buying this now from a technical perspective, and maybe holding it for like a year or so to see if it gets a way to get back up to 50 cents or so. But it would only be a small amount. My main concern at this point in time for a longer term position is just the fact that it is below $1. There is going to need to be a split here pretty soon, and there might need to be some announcement saying, hey, it's maybe a warning of some type. Let me see if I can find it right here. See. Some lawsuits, that's not crazy. Viewer clicks. April. I don't see any warnings here. It'd be like a notice space. It would say like notice or something, except for the text here is kind of messed up. There's no notice. Notice. Nope. Okay. No notice. Okay. So yeah, you kind of have a little more worrying there. So what you're looking for right now, then, go back to more what's happening now. Is if you can get a breakout, I would say sometime tomorrow. You're going to be looking for a short-term play where you're just hoping to get us back from get the price back from like 52.34, maybe around that time, maybe 53, maybe 54. You know, depends on how you time it. You're hoping that breakout can take you back up here above 60 cents, closer to 66, 65. Personally, for me, you know, I'm never expecting to get all the way back up here, but I could really see a good scale-up point being around 60, just where you start to kind of deal with this box again. It's kind of at the bottom of that box. You could always move it up a little bit more if you want to. But yeah, that's the way I'd play it right now. You got all the momentum swinging in your favor in the short term here. You just have to realize that resistance level is really just there. You know, if you break out from here down the road, you can double down. Because if we kind of just hop back for a second, the moving averages are kind of crisscross and not much stuff because, you know, we're going sideways. The 200 is coming down, and when's the last time we've been above the 200? November, December of 2021. It's been a hot minute, right? 4-hour chart is going to be looking a little bit more bullish as well. You can see the breaking above the 50 moving average of the 20. Golden cross is coming sometime next week. Then we're going to be having another golden cross with the 200. And the last time we had that golden cross where we had the 50 and the 20 over somewhere around here. Didn't really lead to much here, do it? I guess maybe it's a sideways action. That one right there, that don't lead to much either, so you got to be careful with this one. No, it's usually a lag. It's lagging a little bit too much. You might actually have to go into EMA territory, or maybe even Dema territory. Let me do something very fast. Maybe it's YouTube investing lessons. I haven't opened this up in a minute. No, it's MA. No, it's MA. Okay. Let's go EMA, I guess. I don't want to make it too stressful and go over to the demons and stuff. Oh, but they're all hidden. No. Okay, if I zoom out a little bit, will it make it easier for it not to be hidden? Okay, there you are. Got 20. Green, thick. Blue, thick. Let's go to 50. Let's close this fine. These ones. And 200 thick. All right. Or back into the 4-hour chart. No, nothing too crazy here. You're just hoping it can do that big pop, because if it makes a pop, it'll probably go up another like 5-10% in a day. Is that what this would end up going back up to, like right here? 7%, 8%. So yeah. Because you want that pop to get back above all this crap here that's former, like, you know, support, now resistance. That'll get you there, but you'll have a good idea if you want to be buying into that breakout tomorrow or the day after. But you really don't see much of those moving averages giving you any good signs here, even the weekly charts. Because I don't want to go into the demons, but even the demons wouldn't crossing over just yet. You probably see just that slowdown being more emphasized than the averages, because it's all lagging. Let's zoom in just a tad bit more here. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Hey, Caveman. Do I bot trade, and how do you feel about bot trading? I don't bot trade. I need to try it. I'm about to. Well, I'm in the process now. Just damn microphone killing me. I'm about to start making a bunch of tutorials. Like I made that trading tutorial. I'm going to make a tutorial about every exchange that somebody asks me for, basically. I'm going to make a tutorial about it. Even the ones that aren't available in America, I'm just going to have this long series of tutorials, starting off with the ones that sponsor the channel, like a Fairdesk. Maybe, I think TapBit wants to sponsor the channel. I'll see what they do. Butenex, Weeks, stuff like that. Fairdesk, what else? KuCoin, Binance, so that. But I'm going to start a thing where I kind of go over all this stuff. But as far as bot trading, I've seen people make money with it. So I believe there is a market for it. I do think there's a way to do it. I'm just not entirely sure how likely it is to make money off of it, and the bad stories that come along with it and stuff like that. What I would say is probably something I say similar to copy trading. If you do copy trading, if you do bot trading, or earn, even like just putting your money in like interest accounts, only ever have a small portion of your account in there. And if you see the money grow to something you think is really nice, pull some of it out and leave that much some money in there to let it grow even more and more and more. Be careful with them all, but you know, I would have to look more into bot trading. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. Every exchange has their own little system of bot trading, which makes it kind of confusing to me. Whereas copy trading is very simple, right? But I trust it, I guess. Would I put like $10,000 into it? No. Would I put $500 or $1,000 into it? Yeah. But you don't have to put $1,000 into it. You can put like $50 into it and just see what happens. Maybe $100, just see what happens. And then maybe you just want to let that account grow. But there's different different systems the bots use in order to make the calculations of that, you know, it might be worth just kind of watch and see how they perform over time, and making sure that you do your due diligence as far as kind of reading how they do. But I would say, yeah, I'd be fine to use one if it's from a trusted exchange. I bought a call looking to get out at 55 cents. You should be fine. You just, if you get a breakout, you're good. If you don't get a breakout, you're going sideways and down a little bit longer for that big pop. But it seems like it just wants to pop tomorrow. I'll be streaming tomorrow. Bring this up to me, or as soon as you give me the, I don't know what that signal is called, the chill bro or the cowabunga. I don't know. I'll remember the Go EV. I'll try to at least. I might just remember canoe, but I don't remember what the heck canoe means. There we go over there. But yeah, you're pretty close to that target price. And they cave. What do you call it? Yeah, but as long as those support levels are holding, we're holding a big level for GANFAN right now, and I don't normally pull up the GANFAN today, but it's something interesting, especially when we're using longer term weekly charts. That's why I think it's much more useful and much more yeah, it's just much more useful to be using in the charts. Would you be interested in interviewing a couple people who bot trade? I mean, I could. I've been trying to interview people for a while. It hasn't really come to fruition just yet because there always seems to be a problem or something's coming up. I tried to interview politicians, but once they figured out I was more crypto oriented, they just like, oh, he's a crypto guy. We don't need to waste our time with him. I have a couple friends that I might want to start a podcast with, but you know, some of them don't want to show their faces, which makes it a lot more difficult to actually have a good communication in a podcast format, at least for me, maybe not for them. But I'm sure there's somebody out there, maybe from an exchange or something, who can explain what bot trading is, the downsides, the upsides, this, how to do it safe, how to do it responsibly, and things of that nature. I'm sure I could find one. I don't know if they'd be willing to give me an interview, but I could always try, I guess. Yeah, it'd be worth the effort to try it, though. Excuse me. All right, everybody. I'm gonna go let Loki outside. I'm gonna call it a day for now. Right now, Bitcoin has come back since we started the stream, which is very, very good. We're back above $26,000. That's very nice. Some people got liquidated right here for a little bit of a painful trade, but hopefully things get better over the next few days. We're trying to hold a massive support level. Altcoins are not even trying to hold support levels right now. Some are, but you have a lot of them just crumbling down. So just again, be careful of your altcoins. Don't put too much money in them. Dollar cost averaging is usually the best thing to do with them because there is a lot of volatility involved with them. But your Bitcoins and your Ethereum, they're definitely the safer plays for right now. So I'll see you guys a little bit later tomorrow. I'm really excited. I have a video coming out pretty soon. That's a tutorial strategy video. But it's my attempt to be much more pizzazzy, modern, you could say, when it comes to my videos. So I'm hoping it works out. But while keeping the overall knowledge of the video intact, I feel like all I see on all these other channels is very pizzazzy videos that are not really teaching you much. And I want to make sure you guys actually learn something in my videos. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Loki says goodbye. I'm going to go drink some coffee while I take him outside too. Loki, come back up here. Oh, you should good boy. Yes, you are. Yo, what happened? Oh no. Come here. If I could teach him to bark on command, I would try to say, like, he would be the bark would send off the stream, if that makes sense. So, see you guys a little bit later, and thanks for watching.